So I wanted to go through a deeper dive associated with looking at the Instructional Planning Report. You might see it abbreviated as IPR on these slides. If you want to directly access it, you could go through that website that is shown here, scores.collegeboard.org. And you could also access it through AP Classroom, which enables you to access a number of different places at one time once you have set up your teacher account. When you work through uh, the entry point for the website, you would arrive at a page that looks something like this. And in this case, notice some of the key things highlighted. First of all, your ability to change your organization. In this case, this is um, Sue from a particular high school. You also want to notice the administration year. So you can obviously change the administration year and look at the prior year's scores. And then finally, if you still have questions, you can go to the help menu. And again, I am not one to avoid the help menu. I go to it sometimes as I need to. But a lot of this, a lot of your ability to kind of navigate through the website uh, is somewhat intuitive. I mean, it's, but at the same time, I'm going to go through some of these materials. When you use the Instructional Planning Report or IPR, there are four things that maybe should stick out for you. Your ability to kind of compare your group with other people in your state, as well as global statistics. It'll give you the number of people that have scored a 3 or higher in your group. And then you can drill down and look further at subsets of your students, as well as the ability to kind of print this out and save this in a hard copy for yourself or on your computer. If you are somebody that teaches multiple AP subjects, you obviously the first filter or the first thing that you want to do is to choose the appropriate subject. But it'll show all of these subjects in which you are able to choose from as far as AP subjects that you teach. And then further, you would work on choosing specific sections. Once you choose the subject and you choose the section, then you are to run the report. And again, you can customize this in a more detailed way. And let me talk to you a little bit about that. For instance, in from 2019 and beforehand, the various sections that existed based on how your AP coordinator created section codes would have enabled you to choose from various sections, as highlighted here. It's possible that your AP coordinator did not organize it into sections, and this is something that you have to speak to him or her about. But you should choose the selection codes that you want to look at, and then before you the specific section codes, and then run the report in order to drill down on specific maybe sections that were created based on class period that you teach or something like that. In 2021, going forward, you are going to see those IPR reports based on how they were registered in the fall. And typically now the AP coordinators are registering them based on their the class period. So you're creating a section code is attached specifically to a class. And here, when you are looking at this person that teaches macroeconomics, notice the periods that they teach and the various teachers. So this is what you'd see going forward. And again, students now in the fall are registered into the AP classroom, and with the ability to take the AP exam and access AP classroom and work from all of those benefits throughout the year. When you choose through the filters, you will see some statistics that shows your group and how they did compared to the state um, how the state did and how people did globally versus the other statistics that might stand out are the mean score that's shown as well as the percentage of students that scored 3 or higher. And then it'll show you group distribution statistics, etc. Again, this is not what you'll see for 2020 if you're concerned about the IPRs for 2020. You're not going to see these detailed reports for 2020, so be mindful of that. This is for 2019 prior and also for 2021 really going forward. If you look further at the details of the report, you will see two tabs, one tab for multiple choice performance, another tab for free response performance. In the multiple choice section, notice how it shows you the number of questions based on periods, and it seems like this is a U.S. history class perhaps, and then it speaks about how your group did based on the number of questions, how many questions they got right, and the mean, excuse me, the mean of correct answers, and the mean of the state versus the global mean. If you look at the free response questions, you'll see similar statistics, right? The max score for the free response questions, and the free response questions, remember, are the short answer questions, the SAQs, the document-based questions, the DBQs, and the free response questions, the FRQs. Again, you'll see your group's comparison to the state and global statistics. It is possible that depending on whether students took a later exam or depending on what is happening in that year, that there are multiple versions of the exam. So you also want to be mindful that there is filtering data to choose various forms and then do those same sort of comparisons. When teachers filter, again, you will be able to going forward. You're going to be able to do more precise filters. For instance, you could kind of checklist and check all of the students that scored 3, 4s, or 5s. You can also filter by grade level. And again, those are the three things that you want to be mindful of. Filtering by score, by grade level. It's possible that you do not have a homogeneous group of ninth graders, but maybe you have ninth and 10th graders, or maybe anybody in high school can take the class, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So you can also filter by grade level as well as the standard group. The administrators have a different view. Again, this is not necessarily your concern, but they can view by teacher, by students, by scores, and by grade levels. You on that on the scoring in the scoring the instructional report area, you will actually have links to both AP Central and AP Classroom to kind of help you focus on maybe some additional resources that you might want to consider to help you navigate the following year. If you look at what you will see more precisely next year, what you should be reminded of is really the CED. So notice the future in instructional planning reports will organize the reporting data by category associated with units of instruction along the lines of the breakdown in the course and exam description, or the CED. And so that is going to also be very useful for you to plan out not the current year in which you taught, because that is a bygone conclusion, but the future year that you will teach the same course.